Time we are just 4 days away from a potential government shutdown, and it seems like neither side is budging. The Trump administration is threatening to fire even more federal workers if a shutdown happens, but Democrats say it will not change their votes.
Joining us now to talk a little more about this funding fight is the Hill's In the Know columnist Judy Kurtz. Just to keep up with all the analogies we've been dropping, we had a merry-go-round last week. Today it's the Energizer Bunny.
Today it's the Energizer Bunny. It's going and going. I would say, in the words of the great poet of our time, Kesha, tick-tock on the clock, shutdown battle, just don't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going here. And we actually have some new information this morning from my colleague Emily Brooks, who's reporting there's a new letter out from 35 conservative groups saying that they don't want President Trump to agree to Democrats' demand to continue those health care subsidies started during the COVID period. That's one of the key concessions that Democrats are trying to draw from Republicans in the shutdown battle.
So there really has been a communication breakdown on all sides. There have been chances and opportunities to talk, and then everybody, buckles, and they're like, nope, including the president recently.
Yes, absolutely. Both sides seem to be digging in their heels here, and what Democrats don't want to see happen is a repeat of March, when Chuck Schumer and several other Senate Democrats agreed to Republicans' demands for a CR and went along with that, faced enormous blowback from within the party. This time around, they say the situation has changed. They're not budging. They want Republicans to come to the negotiating table. Republicans say that's pointless. We're not going to get anywhere. It's unproductive.
Republicans, not all of them, believe that they should let these ACA subsidies expire. Representative Mike Lawler of New York says he does not, this is the layoffs, support the permanent layoffs at these agencies. That's the OMB memo that came out earlier this week. But in terms of the ACA subsidies, I personally have not heard Republicans say we don't want our constituents who rely on the Affordable Care Act to not have more of their insurance covered by federal subsidies. It's we don't want money going to undocumented immigrants for their health care, and that's what we heard the president say recently.
This is all caused by the Democrats. They asked us to do something that's totally unreasonable. They never change. They want to give money away to illegally, people that entered our country illegally. They want to give them massive federal money.
So there you see the argument against the ACA subsidies that the Democrats want. And then we heard earlier this week another sort of tactic coming from the GOP and these mass layoffs being threatened by OMB.
Absolutely. And Senate Majority Leader John Thune, a Republican, says that the Republicans are open to having a conversation about continuing the ACA subsidies, just not as part of the shutdown talk. They want Democrats to pass this, what they're calling a clean CR, which will push us until November when we continue this shutdown talk once again.
So let's talk about what's happening and how this can be felt locally. We have Marylanders who've already lost 15,000 jobs because of all of the DOGE cuts since January. Had for 2 months in a row, we mentioned this yesterday, the highest number of layoffs in the country. And now this OMB letter, which says, nope, we're not going to furlough you, we're going to fire you, right?
That's right.
So go ahead.
Yeah, this letter from Russ Vought, the director of the OMB, saying that these firings would be permanent, which is unusual for when you have a shutdown. Usually you temporarily lay off some folks and then they return to their jobs when the shutdown ends. Vought saying that that's not going to happen this time around. He's saying that these cuts would be permanent.
So let's hear from Senator Chris Van Hollen, right? This is what he had to say about it. He said President Trump is engaged in mafia-style blackmail, with his threats ultimately harming the American people. He's threatening to double down on the failed actions of Elon Musk and his chainsaw. These dedicated workers have nothing to do with the ongoing political and policy disputes that have brought us to the brink of shutdown. These threats are not only an attack on Americans' services and benefits, they're also likely illegal. We'll be fighting back with every tool we have. Democrats, I don't think it's unfair to say, are probably disgusted by this.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the finger pointing is really strong right now. We're running out of fingers to point here in Washington. But both sides really want to win in the court of public opinion, and that's why you're seeing so much of the blame game happening before our eyes, before the shutdown on Tuesday night.
Right, well, they're talking to all of us, but they're not talking to each other, which appears to be the problem here. It seems like the ball is in the Senate's court. The House has done its job according to Republicans. They passed their CR. It failed to get past that 60-vote threshold in the Senate. 7 Democrats needed to get over that hill. But that is what Chuck Schumer is using the leverage for, to try to get these ACA subsidies passed.
That's right. And Senate Democrats, or rather House Democrats, are poised to meet this week about the shutdown. Just days to go. The clock is really ticking. We'll see what happens.
All righty. Thank you so much, Judy. Really appreciate it.
Thanks to both of you.